Hey friends, Gary here. Welcome to today's Q&A video where I will reply to your comments and questions. Hopefully this video will be interesting. We have plenty of fun comments and questions. Anyway, today the plan was to go outside, take some pictures, bring my micro four thirds cameras and have fun. But actually it is raining right now, so unfortunately we cannot do that. But yeah, we will have fun exploring some questions and I will try to provide my best answer. Let's start with the first comment. Question number 1 from Lumixographer 2185. Beautiful shots and video that brings back memories of our 2 visits to Iceland. It is an amazing country to visit under any conditions. Yes, I agree so much. Thank you for your kind words. Iceland is definitely a beautiful country. Recently we went there. That was our second trip. Our first trip was our honeymoon, which was in 2022. And yeah, we were able to take so many amazing shots, landscape shots of Iceland, and we were just so happy. And if you guys are interested to check out my vlogs recorded in Iceland, you can go to the link right here. Second comment is from Mr. First Dance 2000. Great job, Gary. Not only the photography, but finding the right women to follow you to some place named Iceland. Yeah, I'm very thankful for Nora, my wife. She's been my #1 supporter ever since we first met. And yeah, actually, we went to Iceland in 2022 as part of our honeymoon, and back then that was not her idea, it was my idea. But thankfully she enjoyed Iceland so much, regardless of the cold and crazy wind weather, that kind of thing. She liked it so much there, so that when I proposed another vacation to Iceland this year, she said yes, no comment at all, let's go. And yeah, we went to Iceland again this year, a little bit colder than in 2022, but we had a lot of fun. Next comment is from Non941. Makes you wish your GX85 and G100 were weather sealed, huh? Not really. During my first trip to Iceland in 2022, all of my cameras are weather sealed. I brought the GX8 as well as the G85 and they both work really well. But I noticed that even though they are weather sealed, once the weather starts to get crazy, for example, crazy winds and rain, and your front element of the lens starts to get wet, even though it's weather sealed, you cannot take photographs at all. You have to constantly clean the lenses and it's just not possible to take great picture. So I stopped taking pictures when the weather is just too crazy. And I figured out, yeah, weather sealing doesn't mean that much, except if you constantly take pictures or video when you are visiting some of the wetter waterfall, for example, like Seljalandsfoss. So yeah, during my recent trip to Iceland, my G100 and GF9, they are not weather sealed, but they work well to capture pictures. Again, when the weather is so wet and windy, I'll just not take pictures anyway, even though they are weather sealed or not. Next comment is from Rogue Splice. Remix Shenmue 2 music, some fine waterfall shots. The only thing we're missing was a shot of Gary raw dogging the wind and rain in his swim trunks down at the falls. Pictures are looking fresh. Thank you, but unfortunately, you're not going to see me wearing just my swim trunks running around the waterfall during this crazy cold winter weather. Yeah, it was just so cold out there, and with the winds and all that stuff, you know, it's just not possible for me to wear anything less than my 3 layers, outer jacket, mid layer, and thermal underwear. Otherwise, it'll be very cold. Next comment is from LuCrypto8114. Thanks for the review. The thing is that the lens is about 500 euro. With that budget plus camera price, maybe you can get a better rig that doesn't crop the image with 4K, right? Yeah, I mean, sure, you can get something like the GX85, which has less 4K crop when you're recording video with that lens. And maybe some other formats, especially APS-C, now is cheaper, so you can get a combo of a camera and lens with that kind of focal length for maybe less than the budget of the G100 plus the Panasonic Leica 9mm f1.7. But the thing is, the there's something about G100 and just micro four thirds cameras and lenses in general that I cannot really explain. It's about the tactility, real world user experience. You know, how intuitive the camera when you use it out in the field, the menu system, how you handle it, the behaviors of the cameras that can really make or break your photography and video filming experience. But yeah, probably if we're speaking only in terms of budget and economics, you can find something cheaper that can perform better with similar kind of focal length. Next comment is from Resol Q5G. Any modern smartphone will handle it much better, cheaper and lighter, and at the same time you won't be sponsoring scoundrels who release primitive crap in the form of modern cameras. Well, maybe yes, maybe no, but let me show some set of pictures. One is captured using my micro four thirds cameras and one is captured using my phone, which is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. I agree, Z Fold 5 is not the newest or the greatest. It's not known for its camera capabilities, but the primary camera I think is more than good enough for a flagship smartphone camera. And as you can see in some situations, yeah, probably we will get similar performance, but in some other situations, for example, Northern Line photography, well, micro four thirds will just perform so much better. Also, long shutter kind of pictures like the waterfalls, things like that. You cannot really do it with your phone unless you use some special kind of applications. And by then, if you use that kind of things, it'll already be complicated and it's easier to do with a dedicated photography camera. Next comment is from Mr. First Dance 2000. Great show, Gary. Thank you very much. This was a comment on the last Q&A video. But anyway, if you guys have more questions, don't hesitate to comment down below or comment on any of my videos. Next comment is from Stories with Swagat. Hi Gary, I have recently bought a GF7, but the build quality isn't that impressive so that it can survive trekking trips. What do you think? My friend, over here I have my Panasonic Lumix GF9, which is a little bit newer compared to the GF7, but still, you know, I used it a lot. I think they're a pretty similar camera in terms of price point and features as well. As you can see right here, it looks like it's been through so many wars. It's like so beaten up and there are so many scratches and whatnot. And I just recently brought this camera to Iceland for almost 1 month. You know, I went to Copenhagen, Iceland, did the whole ring road trip and also a little bit of Helsinki. And yeah, although it doesn't look pretty anymore, it's so banged up, so many scratches, it still works fine. I mean, every button still works well, the rear control wheel still works well, the screen still works well, everything about this camera still functions really well. So I think for just hiking, trekking, trips, that kind of stuff, this camera will survive just fine. Make sure you use a good sturdy bag to protect your camera when you are not using it. Something a little bit weather resistant will be a good idea. Next comment is from Rogue Splice. Wow, the 7.5mm, huh? Ultra wide and ultra amazing. Yes, the Laowa lens is actually a great lens. I think it is one of the best wide angle lens for micro four thirds. However, the only drawback is that it is a manual focus, so I'm reluctant to use it nowadays because once on my trip to Iceland in 2022, I used that lens to photograph a beautiful scenery of the Kirkjufell mountain. However, I noticed when I got back home that the picture was misfocused because I accidentally bumped into the manual focus ring a little bit when I took the picture. Next comment is from Stories with Swagat. I have a 12-32 which I use mostly for landscape photography. 20 or 40mm would be better option for landscape in comparison to 12-32. In my opinion, for landscape, not really. What matters the most when it comes to landscape photography is the focal length and the quality of the lens. I think 12-32 is more than good enough in terms of optical performance, even though for backlight situation and flaring, maybe it'll suffer a little bit, but at least it is sharp, it is contrasty, you'll get great results. Regarding 14 or 20, yeah, you'll get larger aperture, but that won't really help you for landscape photography. And that wraps up today's video. So hopefully today's video has been interesting, entertaining, informative. Hopefully you guys are happy with my answers and replies to your comments. If you have any more questions or comments, please comment down below or comment on any of my other videos. I'll be happy to answer them. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. If you want to support my work in this channel even further, I kindly invite you guys to be a member of my Patreon. By becoming a paid member on my Patreon, you will support my channel and you will get access to exclusive contents that you won't see anywhere else, including some tutorials, past tutorials, my simplifying travel photography ebook, as well as my future tutorials that I'm still working on right now. 2026 calendar also available for my Patreon members, Lightroom presets, being able to download my photos, all that kind of stuff, you will get it as my Patreon member. Also, don't forget to use my affiliate links down below if you want to help to support my channel. Thank you, and I will see you guys in the next